Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Hi guys, and welcome to another Fool of the Week. And this week's Fool is the Right Honourable Gentleman from the Victorian era, Jacob Rees-Mogg. Now, Jacob is going to attack Unicef for helping people. Let's hear what they had to say.
Speaker, for the first time ever, Unicef, the UN agency responsible for providing humanitarian aid to children, is having to feed working class kids in the UK. But while children go hungry, a wealthy few enjoy obscene riches. From Tory donors handed billions in dodgy COVID contracts to people like the Leader of the House, who is reportedly in line to receive an £800,000 dividend payout this year. So will he give government time to discuss the need to make him and his super-rich chums pay their fair share so we can end the grotesque inequality that scars our society?
Mr. Speaker, I don't like to personalise too much in the House, and I do understand you've got to get things on the record, but I do want...
Don't personalise it. So if Jacob Rees-Mogg is corrupt, please don't point it out in the House of Commons.
To show at least some kind of Christmas spirit at the moment.
Mr. Speaker, I think it's a real scandal that Unicef should be playing politics in this way when it is meant to be looking after people in the poorest, the most deprived countries in the world, where people are starving, where there are famines and where there are civil wars, and they make...
Oh my God. So this is... Look, I was in two minds whether to call this Fool of the Week or Twat of the Week. Jacob Rees-Mogg isn't just an idiot, but he's an evil man. Now, I understand that he's pompous. I understand that he's pretending, he's cosplaying a Victorian figure. But in reality, no, he's not. He's a horrible individual. UNICEF are filling a gap that the government have left behind. This is the responsibility of government. If UNICEF are coming and saving lives, providing food for the poor, it means the government have failed. You should not be there. Now, this lady, this Labour MP raised a number of issues. So let's look at what she's talking about. She mentioned Tory donors receiving millions of billions of pounds in contracts. This is an article from the 9th of October. It says here, handing £122 million PPE contract to Tory peer associate is definition of corruption, MP says. Here we have another example. I've talked about this one before. We have Edward Argar, who used to work for Serco, a former head of UK and Europe Public Affairs at Serco, which runs private prisons, private prisons and prison escort service, was appointed as Justice Minister after Philip Lee quit over the government's Brexit policy. Now, this is from 2 years ago, 2018. He, not the guy you can see on the screen, but Edward is now the Minister for Health. And this issue about Jacob Rees-Mogg set for £800,000 dividend from Somerset Capital Management, which is a hedge fund company. Now, Jacob Rees-Mogg is planning to move his operation to Dublin in order to profit from Brexit. Now, let's hear a little bit more from the Right Honourable Gentleman.
Make cheap political points of this kind, giving, I think, £25,000 to one council. It is a political stunt of the lowest order. But what has this government done about child poverty? We are committed to our manifesto pledge to reduce child poverty.
We're committed. We're committed. We're promised. We're looking into it. Yes, it's not like, you have been in power for 10 years. Over 10 years. It's not that you have been in power for 10 years and you could have done something about it. No. Don't worry, people. We're going to look into it now. We passed 10 years, but definitely we're going to look into it now.
We've expanded free school meals to all 5 to 7-year-olds.
Whoa, free school meals. Okay.
Benefiting 1.4 million children. We doubled free...
Once again, we expanded it to cover... we put millions of pounds into this. We're covering 1.4 million. It doesn't matter how many children you're providing food for. It doesn't matter how much money you're spending. It's not working. You have failed.
Childcare for eligible working parents, and will establish a 1 billion childcare fund giving.
See how they use numbers that are irrelevant to the general public. We're spending £1 billion here. He's not telling you how much he's spending per child. He's not telling you how many children are better off or how many are not better off. You know, say, look, we have failed. We're going to fix it. No, of course he'll never say they have failed.
Parents to support.
If UNICEF are there, it's because you have failed.
And freedom to look after children. We're spending £400 million of taxpayers' money to support children, families, and most.
Why of taxpayers' money? Why did you put that Rob in there for?
Vulnerable over winter and through 2021. Since 2010 to 2018-19, there are 100,000 fewer children in absolute poverty in this country. This is a record of successive conservatism.
But how many now are in poverty? You said until 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020? Well, let's have a look at some of the data that Jacob Rees-Mogg ignored. This is data from the Trussell Trust, which covers food bank usage. And you can see here very clearly from 2008, 2009, this is the number of people using food banks, receiving 3 days worth of emergency food from this food bank. And this is just one charity that provide food bank support. 25,000. In 2020, the year 2019-2020, it was 1.9 million. How is that success, Jacob? How is that a success story if food bank usage is going up? Shouldn't it be going down if you're providing enough? So that means that you're saying that you're providing support to individuals, you're supplying support, you're providing support to families. But if you are, then why are the numbers of usage of food banks going up? Let's look at another statistic. This is homelessness, rough sleepers. Question here, how many people sleep rough each night? According to the latest government figures, government figures, collected in the autumn of 2019 and published in February 2020, 4,266 people are estimated to be sleeping rough in a single typical night. Is rough sleeping on the rise? There was a decrease of 9% between 2018 and 2019. However, since 2010, since this government has been in power, the Conservative Party have been in power, rough sleeping figure has increased by 141%. 141%. Which areas saw the biggest changes? In 2019, the Southeast and Northeast reported an increase in rough sleeping, while seven regions reported a decrease, with the West Midlands experiencing the largest percentage change of -24%. So if rough sleeping has gone up 141% and food bank usage is 1.9 million people are applying for food support. How is that a success, Jacob Rees-Mogg? Doesn't matter how many numbers you throw out, doesn't matter how many people you say we've covered, we've helped. It's not working. If UNICEF have to step in, it's a failure of government. Government's job is to look after citizens. Even if there's one person homeless, even if there's one person needing access to food, emergency food banks, then you have failed. No one should have to access food banks. Food banks should not exist. Charity should not exist. I know I'm presenting a utopia, but shouldn't that be the direction we're going? Eventually getting to a stage where food banks don't exist, charity does not exist, because government provide everything that people need. But they will not, because you have Jacob Rees-Mogg in charge. That's all I have to say for this week's Fool of the Week. See you next time for another different Fool of the Week. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?